something seriously strange just happened with Tesla. This is a Model 3 with covers that was just spotted. The Model 3 refresh came out about 16 months ago, and yet we are seeing a Model 3 with covers as if it's about to get another refresh. Is this really another Model 3, or is something else going on here? And this vehicle was spotted in California, as you can see from the license plate. There's a good chance that this is going to be a substantially more affordable Model 3. It's also possible that they are just simply going to be aligning some parts between the Model 3 and the new Model Y, although I don't see that as very likely. Whatever is going on here, I believe it's strange, and I don't have a clear or very good explanation of what this is exactly. But I am pretty sure that picture is pretty material and significant to us Tesla stock investors. Keith Fitzgerald predicted last July that Tesla stock was set to double or triple, and that came true. He also predicted the dot-com bubble, the great financial crisis, and on top of that, the rise of Palantir. His Tesla stock prediction came true, and he's now saying that Tesla stock is going to reach a $20 trillion market cap. So here's just a very brief clip of his thoughts about Tesla stock.
That's why I say this is very much like Apple's 2014 moment, because the return to scale for Tesla over the next decade is going to be radically different than the return to scale over the past decade. So it is natural. The more digital a company is, the higher the PE ratio becomes. And where that matters from an investing standpoint is you have a whole bunch of people who are screaming and yelling about high valuations who don't understand that's exactly what you want to see when it comes to a company like Tesla, because every customer they add costs them almost nothing, but yet the margins are off the charts.
Stuff, PE ratios and price to sales and price to book, blah, 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 blah.
It's taught as dogma today, but what people don't realize is that stuff is like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It doesn't work anymore. The only thing that most of the investing public has gotten right about Elon Musk is they've been consistently wrong about what he's anticipating. And so if you're an early investor, if you're a serious investor, if you're a retail investor who understands where you want to go and what you want to accomplish with this stock, I submit the smarter move is to be on board now. Because when this train starts moving, it's going to move so fast that everybody else who's not on board is going to be standing there with their hat in their hand going, oh, what happened?
So obviously he believes that Tesla is going to solve full self-driving, making it safer than human driving, and there's a good reason for it, because look at this clip. This Tesla vehicle on V13 FSD is driving through this incredibly bad weather without any issues, smooth and faster and better than most human drivers on the road. And even some of the mainstream media is starting to admit that full self-driving is actually good. This is Barron's reporter on FSD V13. It's really good. The number of times I have to take over on the road is down substantially, and the driving is significantly better. FSD is starting to feel like a solid human driver. It navigates parked vehicles, construction, difficult left turns, speed bumps, and pedestrians with a surprising level of expertise. What we are now seeing is a paradigm shift. You will soon start seeing people that were skeptical of Tesla and of full self-driving for the longest time, and suddenly they will start becoming bullish. And we have seen that with some people already. Now, when it comes to mainstream media, this particular reporter generally is positive about Tesla, but what is happening is a lot of price target increases are made by Wall Street analysts, and specifically often they mention full self-driving. For example, these guys from Evercore, they just raised their Tesla stock price target to 295, up from 195, so an increase of about 50%, still way below where Tesla even is. Here's another one, up from 411 to 492. At least this one is actually above where Tesla stock currently is today. These analysts from New Street Research are literally going through a paradigm shift, because they just went from a neutral rating on Tesla stock to now a buy rating. Now their price target is pretty low, 460 only, but they're now saying buy instead of do nothing. Now they are still talking about the auto industry and Tesla's deliveries, but also they do recognize Tesla's progress with full self-driving technology. And they actually see a possibility that Tesla could launch unsupervised FSD, specifically robotaxis, later this year. They see significant long-term upside. This is something that's rare to hear from Wall Street analysts, long-term. But they see Tesla stock going to $4.7 trillion market cap in 2030, so that's an increase of a few times. And these analysts also, like Tesla, partially because of full self-driving progress. And full self-driving progress is not going to stop here. Right now, there's probably a new version that's being tested out. Often when we see Tesla vehicles circle around Chuck Cook's area, there is a new update coming out soon, so that's how we know. And James Thorne, who manages tens of billions of dollars, keeps reiterating that Tesla stock is indeed going to $2 trillion in market cap in 2025, so this year. As far as stock astrology goes, Rich Ross, who is a pretty famous technical analyst on Wall Street, he predicts that Tesla stock is about to recharge. And this one, well, it's Jim Cramer, but he's saying buy Tesla stock in Palantir. And this story is making waves among the Tesla community. PR experts say Elon Musk's handling of the Tesla Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas was a masterclass. To which, of course, many will say wrong. They ran 0 ads against this, and thus he's an idiot and Tesla is garbage. But the reason why they are saying that it was a masterclass, this is specifically from McCormick PR. They said it is so important to act quickly in these situations because people are coming to their own conclusions and they are formulating their own opinion. If there is no response by you, they are coming to their own conclusion. And Elon Musk definitely provided updates very quickly, and there were so many updates, and they were fast updates. As soon as Elon would learn something new, he would post about it. Of course, the person that many people are poking fun at is Gary Black, but Gary Black has a response. He says, well, Elon is functioning as Tesla's PR department right now, so wouldn't it make sense for Tesla to just hire a couple PR professionals at $250,000 per year to manage Tesla's PR proactively to try to prevent the headlines from going out wrong in the first place? But also the thing is, when Elon posts it on his main timeline, it reaches tens of millions of people immediately and quickly. If it was just some random PR person doing it, would the reach be as high? And also, many people actually trust Elon Musk, but if you have a random PR person, it's a little bit different. I also believe there is a personal benefit to Elon Musk to actually do this. Think about this. When you think about Facebook, let's say, do you really think about Mark Zuckerberg when you go on there? When you think about Instagram, do you think about Mark Zuckerberg when you go on there? Now, when you think about Tesla, obviously you will think about Elon Musk because Elon Musk is just so attached to Tesla. So when he personally responds, when there's a story about Tesla, it further builds his personal brand, and he's participating in this fight against the media, which makes people root for him. So if you like him, you will like him even more. And Elon Musk has used his influence to participate in the election, and he definitely helped elect President Trump. And since Trump got elected, Tesla stock rallied hard and quickly. So I personally have no issues with Elon using this strategy to counteract attacks from the media. Every time he responds, by the way, to these attacks, his following on X grows, his influence overall grows, more people are going to follow him. And therefore, when he makes the next statement about something that he wants to influence or do, or something that he cares about, something that he wants to change, he'll have a higher chance of doing so successfully. One downside to this sort of approach is Elon Musk gets blamed personally for a lot of problems when they happen at Tesla, even if he's not really connected to them. Let's say someone is getting their car delivered late because of some issue with a delivery center. Now that person might be thinking, why is Elon Musk doing this to me? Like, not literally, but they have a thought like that. A friend of mine, for example, had some minor issue at the service center, and he was like, why can't Elon Musk just change this? Why can't he just make it better? What's going on? But I've never heard him say anything like, oh, why does my Amazon package have a problem? Why did it come late? How can Jeff Bezos actually make it work properly where my package doesn't get missed? The person is then mad at the company, not so much at the founder of the company, but that's not really always the case with Tesla. They blame Elon directly, or are definitely more likely to do that. But it also gives Elon a lot more influence. And now a retail Tesla stock analyst, Randy Kirk, an investor, he's making some big predictions this year. He's predicting that Tesla stock is going to pass $500 per share in February. March, we should be at 600 according to him. June, he's predicting 700s. In September, he thinks Tesla stock will be at $800 per share. And in December, he predicts Tesla stock is going to be at $120 per share after the stock splits 10-for-1, making it basically $1,200 if there's no split. Personally, I don't really care what Tesla stock is going to do the next month, the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. I'm just going to buy more Tesla stock, and I believe it is going to $1,000 eventually. Maybe not this year, but it is going there eventually. And then after that, well above it in the long term. Among Tesla investors, this idea has been recently floated again that Tesla should buy Uber, which I agree with Steven here actually, and Farzad definitely. Tesla buying Uber is literally the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Maybe I wouldn't say the dumbest idea ever, because we got to remember that there's Gordon Johnson out there saying the Tesla stock is going down to $20 per share. So I wouldn't say the dumbest, but it's one of the dumbest for sure. And it's certainly right out there with Tesla buying Lucid or Rivian. The thing is, autonomy is coming. Full self-driving is coming. And Elon Musk actually just reposted this post saying that Cybertruck FSD handles an S-turn perfectly. The world has no idea Tesla is solving autonomy. So obviously Elon Musk believes that autonomy is going to be solved, but the world hasn't caught up to that yet really. And that's why Tesla stock is still so undervalued in the long term. And if you really want to see just how good FSD is getting, look at this guy, Jordan Camina. He's in New York City and he posts these pretty long videos of full self-driving V13.2 handling all kinds of difficult parts of New York City. It's not just highway, it's a lot of city, and there are many challenging moments. For example, this latest drive is 2.5 hours long. It's not overwhelmingly too difficult to make FSD look better than it is if it's just a 10-minute video. But if you post a 1-hour video going through New York City, no, there's no faking that. You can also find his videos on YouTube under Savage Junkie. Oh, and there's some pretty good news for Hardware 3 owners. So the Tesla app actually has FSD 12.6 classified as 13.2.3, meaning that actually what we are getting is basically V13, but our hardware and hardware 3 vehicles is just not as good. So the performance is not going to be as good. And probably a few features are lacking, like maybe reverse or a start FSD button. But overall, the framework is going to be like FSD V13. And the model is likely going to be a little bit smaller. It's basically going to be a distilled version of V13. And this is my favorite post of the whole year. It's only been, 6 days in the year, so I think it's pretty safe to say that this is my favorite post. V13.2.2 is so awesome, it makes me look like the best driver on the road. But the reality is, I don't need to do anything. It's getting wicked good. Tesla's robotaxis will have this problem as well. Although I don't really think it will be a problem, but someone will definitely attempt this. This guy literally tried to steal a Waymo vehicle. How stupid do you have to be to try to steal a Waymo vehicle? That's a robotaxi. Come on. I'm quite flabbergasted to see that there's someone this stupid to actually attempt it. I also wonder if that car has the capability to just lock the doors and then just drive straight to the police station. Here, we present to you the criminal. And check out this new footage that we just got. This is a Tesla Semi towing 2 trailers. Not 1, but 2 trailers. And they're not tiny trailers. They are decent size. But one thing that many people will miss from that little video is pay attention to the top of this Tesla Semi. See where it finishes right here, and look at this other one. This is a different semi-truck. There are a few more differences. For example, if you pay very close attention to this area of the vehicle, you will see that it's a little bit different. It looks like the vehicle is maybe a little bit more narrow, although it's a bit hard to tell from this screenshot, but there are definitely some differences. There's also an important SpaceX update, and I am actively exploring opportunities to become a SpaceX investor. I am not going to sell any Tesla stock, just to be very clear. I will only put new money that I'm getting from other places, and I'll put some of that into SpaceX. So I'm very interested in following SpaceX, and I believe that there is tremendous opportunity with SpaceX. And we already saw the stock of SpaceX basically double in about a year in the last 12-ish, 13-ish months or so. And the next date to watch is January 10th. This is when the next Starship rocket is going to launch, and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket is also going to launch this week on January 8th. So Wednesday is Jeff Bezos launching the rocket, and then on Friday, Elon Musk is launching his Starship. This flight is going to be flight number 7 for Starship, and this new Starship, of course, has some improvements over the last one. And now here's some good news for us Tesla stock investors. Bill Nye, the science guy, has a Tesla Powerwall, it turns out. So that's good PR for Tesla. Here's more really good news for us Tesla stock investors. Very well respected and trusted car reviewer on YouTube, Doug DeMuro, says that Tesla Model Y is the best car to buy. This is very good. Tesla customers will be thrilled to hear this. Tesla now sells car parts online, which supports the consumer right to repair and should drive down the repair costs of Teslas. And this indirectly, I say, is actually good for Tesla, but not directly. Waymo released its latest quarterly safety report just now, claiming major safety improvements when compared to the average human driver in Phoenix and San Francisco. Waymo vehicles showed an 81% reduction in airbag deployment crashes, a 78% reduction in injury-causing crashes, and a 62% reduction in police-reported crashes. So looking at this data, we would think that the Waymo driver is already making roads safer in the places where they are currently operating Waymo robotaxis. Specifically, the data below demonstrates that the Waymo driver is better than humans at avoiding crashes that result in injuries, airbag deployments, and police reports. The reason why I say it's actually good for Tesla is because Waymo is further proving that it is definitely possible to make full self-driving cars safer than human driving. But the problem where Waymo is going to really struggle is making it cheaper than Tesla's solution. That they are not going to do, and that's where they are going to lose badly. But in the meantime, Waymo is going to make the public more comfortable with the idea of robotaxis, and they can't scale fast anyway. So they are not a real threat to Tesla's long-term vision. Their solution is just too expensive. Lucid just reported its deliveries, and they exceeded expectations substantially, delivering 3,099 vehicles instead of 2,637 expected. And so naturally, this made the stock rocket 1% today. People don't care. Investors know this is not a good company in the long term. So a few hundred more deliveries, that's not going to make a difference. There's one more news story that I want to share today, which is great news for Elon Musk, I believe personally. And by the way, this is it for Tesla news. This story is political. There have been calls from liberals themselves for Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, to resign. Elon Musk seriously dislikes Trudeau. And today, Trudeau gave an official speech in which he said that he will resign as the Prime Minister. And generally in Canada, conservatives like Elon Musk. So there's a good chance that Elon Musk is going to have an ally leading Canada. Because looking at the polls, these are from late December, the Liberals have no chance of being elected compared to the Conservatives. And like I posted on November 6th, it is now time for Canada to follow the USA too. That's it for today's video. Tesla stock today is up a little tiny bit. I believe Tesla stock is going to $1,000, and then after that, in the long term, well above it. My name is Matt Posius, and I will see you in the next video, probably on Wednesday.